When we think of fire protection, we may think of sprinklers and alarms, but there's a new generation of measures which include reducing the oxygen content of a space. In terms of fire protection, the concept is new, not everyone is convinced, and it's not suitable for everywhere. But fires can destroy businesses completely, so it's worth looking at. Let's hear more now from Carl Bryan, Managing Director of the Fire Prevention Specialists, WAGNER UK. I'm Sarah Lockett. Welcome to the Business Debate. Carl, welcome to the London Stock Exchange studios.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
So tell me about reducing the oxygen content of a space. How effective is that in stopping fires and how common is it?
So it's very effective. We reduce the oxygen from the environment to prevent a fire from starting in the first place. It's not that common, so we have hundreds of systems installed, but there are certain environments into which the systems are very effective.
So where is it suitable for, where is it not suitable for?
So typical applications would be high bay warehouses, logistics areas, IT centres, and also into archives where there's very precious, irreplaceable material.
So not places where a lot of people work?
No, in general offices and those kind of environments, then no.
And how safe is it for people to go into these atmospheres? Because you haven't taken all the oxygen out, have you?
No, so we reduce the oxygen level from what is normal atmosphere to 20.9% to typically 15%, around that kind of number. It could be lower, it could be higher depending on the material that we're protecting, but it is very safe.
And it could be the equivalent of just being on a transatlantic flight?
Yeah, so an aircraft cabin, typically the amount of oxygen available per breath is the same as at 15%.
And you don't tend to focus on life safety, on saving lives in your systems, which sounds a bit counterintuitive. Why is that?
So I think the conventional systems, so sprinklers, fire alarms, they will deal with the life safety aspect, and the regulations certainly in the developed world would cater for that. So we look at the next level really, and if there is a fire and everyone from that business is evacuated, is there a business to go back to? What's the business continuity plan thereafter?
So you're looking at saving the building, saving the stock, is it?
Saving the stock, yeah, and machinery, and really making that business continuity good so that business continue to operate after.
And you've touched on this a little bit, but a relatively small fire can completely destroy a business, can't it? Tell me about that.
So if we had a pharmaceuticals business, for example, that were storing stock in a large warehouse, even a small fire in that warehouse could contaminate the whole stock and would be disastrous for the business.
And would have to be written off, all that stock.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the way it goes. Now, fire safety certificates tend to be awarded on conventional measures, you know, the number of sprinklers, fire alarm system, and your methods really aren't conventional. So would you say that fire inspectors are a little bit wary of your measures, and what would you say to them?
I think they can be wary, and I think, as with a lot of technology businesses, as technology develops, the standards very often lag the speed of technology development. So I think it's part of the job of the industry to continue to educate the legislators, the insurance companies and the standards authorities, and for them to be open to the technology and the science behind the technology.
And it's in the British Library. I mean, it's not niche in any way, is it?
No, we have lots of customers. British Library is probably the most prestigious customer we have in the UK, and we protect 2 archives of theirs, one with books and the other one with newspapers, all which are irreplaceable.
That's it. Now, you claim some of your systems are false alarm proof, and we've all had that experience of having to troop out of an office when the fire alarm goes off by accident. How do you manage that?
So with our detection systems, they are high sensitivity systems. So with high sensitivity brings the risk of false alarms. So we add to that system what we call Logisense. So that's some logic to filter out smoke versus environmental effects.
And this is drawing air out of, say, an office all the time and analysing it?
Yeah, so unlike a conventional smoke detector, which is very passive, this is an active system. It's constantly drawing into a chamber, and then it's analysing that air to differentiate between smoke and other particles.
Because smoke doesn't just build and build and build in a straight line, does it?
That's right. We would typically see with when a fire begins to propagate, the smoke levels will increase, but it won't be a straight line linear effect. Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of factors to think about, aren't there, when you're designing a fire protection system, and you do each one bespoke for each client. What do you need to consider?
Yeah. So from a risk point of view, we will look at how the business is operating, really get in the operator's head and understand the risks of that business, not only to capital stock, but also to their business continuity and overall business. And then also from an engineering perspective, there are lots of factors around the building, how it's constructed, that we need to consider.
Well, Carl, thanks so much for coming in today and telling us about that.
Thank you.
And remember to join us next time when we're going to be discussing the latest innovations in cybersecurity and MBA education. Bye-bye for now.